Hello beautiful Pisces, welcome back to Intuitive Energies and your extended. If you haven't seen this morning's reading, I would go check that out first because this reading will make a lot more sense since it's the extended. You can find that on my homepage of my YouTube channel. It's the video before this one. Okay. Alright, so very, very profound message of love coming in, but it was very vulnerable message, Pisces, coming in from the angel deck that I took. It was talking about looking further into sadness to find release. And sometimes it's hard to say the words because I felt very tongue-tied in a way. Even though I spoke a long time on the subject, it felt more, not tongue-tied, but more like the emotions were hard to explain. Okay? And I feel that that was one of the messages that came through. That the reason that it's so hard is that they're showing me this saying, when you laugh, the world laughs with you. When you cry alone. We've been so conditioned to be uncomfortable around sadness, when it's a fantastic tool at looking at something that's gone wrong or has not felt high vibration, and how to fix it, on how to learn from it, how to move forward from it. We have used pain as something that we are not allowed to feel. And the fact it is a key to us moving forward is to dealing with that pain instead of ignoring it or trying to medicate it or, medicate it with consumerism or pills and keeping busy. Okay? Again, like I feel this emotion of just feeling like I can't speak because, and I am speaking, but I feel like that person sitting there not being able to express how I feel because nobody's taught me how. Nobody's made it okay to be who I want to be. Okay? I do express myself, Pisces, as you can plainly see. And I am working on being vulnerable. I'm working on tears. It's hard for the people around me, especially men, because they don't know how to react to tears. So as a man, I'm going to give you this. If you have somebody who loves you, your partner, the one that you love and care about, man or woman, or whatever they identify as, there's too many definitions now. If there are tears that are spilt and it makes you feel uncomfortable, I would ask you to not make the other person feel uncomfortable. I would ask you to look at it though and figure out why you feel so uncomfortable. Is it because you don't want to see them in pain? You know, you don't need to fix people. You need to help them look inside themselves. Sometimes it's just being very sensitive to their sadness. Okay, this is a sensitivity card. Being the one to hold their hands, to help them breathe in deeply, to hold someone. Do you know how much love and having been the recipient of somebody holding you when you are crying, when you feel at your lowest, and not having to suck it up or wonder if the other person feels uncomfortable in your sadness, when you just have somebody who's willing to be there, to be the rock, to be the person who's just there to open up and say, you know, I'm going to take you in and I'm going to help you just by being here. It's such a great, it's a beautiful thing. Okay? It is one of the best gifts that you can offer to somebody in your life. Okay? And you don't need to explain. You don't need to make a big deal about it. And you don't need to feel uncomfortable. And you don't need to fix everything. You have to go in with the perspective that people feel what they feel when they feel it, because that's at the point they're at in their lives. They're needing to feel this. So that leaves you off the hook of fixing it, okay? But it puts you in the position of being of support, of a loving vibration, okay? And that's a great thing. All right, so I think that's all they wanted me to say about that. I'm going to get an energy oracle. I'm going to try and navigate through the rest of this reading, Pisces. It's quite, it's emotional, but it's not really sadness. There's just a lot of love and tenderness here. Okay? Feeling a lot of love and tenderness here. Something that's been missing because we try to cover it up and mask it. And no, you know, no masking. No masking. Adjacent possibilities. I love it. Right. So right away when that card came out, first of all, it's a 6. And the adjacent possibilities is that we've always seen grief or pain and sadness or trials and tribulations as a way of, oh, I've got to get out of this. I've got to get over this. I've got to mask this. Now the words adjacent possibilities in the 6 to me is like 369. The 6 is like the work number. It's the middle number. It's the jumping off to the bigger number, you know. This it always makes me feel like it's time for you to see, as I was saying, the sadness as a doorway to sensitivity, okay? To letting people be allowed to grieve, to be allowed to be sadness, so that it doesn't revert into attacks and lashing out at each other. To let the sadness be what it is. To let it develop into the wisdom that it needs to turn into. So that's the adjacent, the different possibilities coming in, instead of what pain and sadness has always been referred to as something nobody wants. It is needed. It's destined. It's a growing tool, okay? Now, of course, they're coming in and saying, you know, somebody who's depressed 24/7, you've seen these people because they want attention. That's something that needs to be addressed in itself, okay? We don't want to be always vibing low. But what they're saying that it's okay. It's okay to feel the pain. If there's something there to feel the pain about, it's usually because there's something that needs to be looked at. There's a life journey that's coming up, or something was put in your way for a reason. But our job as a society is not to react badly to that. It's not to make people feel bad for going through their growing journey. They need to go through it, okay? And a sensitivity needs to be brought back in. Okay, we need to recognize that this is how we're going to move forward. So there's a lot of possibilities now that we're thinking in perspective of sadness and pain as checkpoints, okay? Things that need to be dealt with or looked at, wisdom that needs to be brought in, a light shining on something in particular that needs to be worked out, okay? A chakra that needs to be rebalanced, okay, so that we can bring in peace. Because if you see the card of the Angel of Peace, of Temperance, oh, look at the light, just how beautiful, look how it glows. There's that beautiful, there you go, there's that sort of light that likes to come in on this table. I really love that, by the way. When this light is shown in a big, you know, pointed arrow of, yes, in balance. Balance comes from the darkness and the light, okay? This is the scales that have to be put in balance. That's what brings on peace, okay? That's what brings it on. All right, Pisces, I'm going to take the Crystal Tarot from the same author as the Angel Tarot, and I'm going to work on this. Thank you so much for being here, by the way. I think you guys are fantastic. So much wisdom coming in. Oh, and here comes the star. It had come out in the deck when I did the pre-shuffle for this, if you watched it. And it says, I'm inspired and positive about the future. Right. So that's right. Okay. Part of that is I'm inspired and positive about the future. Oh, something fell off. But it's not by just being in the light all the time. Although the star is a light, I find that the star is like shining a light on the subject, such as the moon is. Okay? They're all sources of light, but ultimately we see them better in the dark. Oh, that was a good one, Spirit. I love that one. Oh, I should write that one down. I should write that one down. Okay, so this isn't the sun, it's the stars. And the stars, they come out at night. So they bring in light in the darkness. Beautiful. There you go. So in your darkness, you see the light. Without the darkness, you wouldn't know what the light is. It would just be light all the time. And that's what makes this journey, our life journey, makes it feel so good. We have that contrast, okay? They're showing me it's like, let's say in the spirit realm, you have a different experience. This school of learning here, it's like having the tastiest food you've ever had. You know, when it's spiced and done just right. It's your favorite savory bite of something. Something that you couldn't taste in another realm. You came here to taste this. But only by having something you didn't like would you know what you really like. So that's the wonderful contrast. We're here to experience this. So please, like, it's a different experience than being a spiritual being, but it's not, doesn't mean that it's worse. It's just different, okay? Right. I see things exactly as they are, the Three of Swords. I love this. This card is kind of, yeah, right on the money, and we speak the same language in this deck and myself. Right. Again, the Three of Swords is seeing sadness for what it is. A learning experience, a growth, okay? Not just as bad, but as destined, and something that we need to be learning. Oh, that rune, I keep kicking it around here. Exactly. You need to see things exactly as they are, as possibility for learning, for growth, to embrace it for what it's worth. By the way, I was talking about getting a hug from somebody when you're really sad. It is such a beautiful, somebody who's not, somebody who's like really giving you all of their love. There's nothing quite like it. There's nothing quite like it. I'm the type of person who likes the pressure of a hug. Like, I will stay in a hug. I won't get out of a hug. Especially if I'm not doing well. I will stay there forever. So I'm the kind of person who does this. And I love people who won't let you go out of a hug. Especially if they feel that you need it. To me, it's a sign of somebody who really knows. And here's the Page of Cups. It came out in this deck in the pre-shuffle, and these cards are coming back out now. It says, I am as young as I choose to feel. Right. The vulnerability of a child is what I'm feeling here with this Page of Cups. I feel like the vulnerability as a child. When you're a child, when you skin your knee, and you want somebody to, you know, kiss the bobo, you know, that stuff. And adults will gladly be happy to give you relief, okay? To give you a hug, to give you a smile, to embrace you. This is what they're saying. This is what the world has to go back into, okay? To embrace the sadness, knowing that it's going to turn into something so much better. The Page of Cups, well, that's us. We're the tender-hearted. We are the sensitive one. The Five of Pentacles. I'm supported and never alone. Right. I love this. This is to say it's going to build a community of people who never feel alone again, right? It's going to be an illusion. How wonderful to build communities of not trying to make everybody happy 24/7, but to let people be people and let them learn their lessons, not to build a utopia in the way of making everybody automatons of happy. You know, you always see that when they build utopia. Everybody's walking around in these movies or their shows like everybody's happy. It doesn't matter if the sky is, you know, throwing down, you know, swords. We're all good. Everybody's good, you know. This is not what this means. Utopia is a sensibility of knowing your senses and embracing the contrast for what they're bringing in, but doing it in a much more sensitive, tender, open way. Okay? Instead of like blocking everything, let the corresponding emotions come through. Don't transmute them into anger and attacks. Transmute them into learning and possibilities. Different possibilities. Okay? Wow, they're getting deep. I can feel the power. They're really, really, they're really into it today. Well, at least I'm feeling powerful now. This morning I was feeling a little bit vulnerable, so this is good. This is good. Two of Wands. I focus on what I want and make it happen. Right. So again, with pain and sadness and everything that happens in life, it's all part of the master plan of learning from what you're going through, of knowing the difference between what you want. Again, the balance, the temperance. Okay, that scale thing. On one hand, I know what that feels like, but on the other hand, I know what this feels like. So now I'm going to plan for a better feeling thing, right? Because nobody wants to stay in the sadness, in the desolateness of pain and sorrow. Nobody wants to stay there, okay? But it's not wrong to feel them, okay? It's not wrong to feel them. I feel in all of this, Pisces, that the big message here that the guides are trying to say here is that it's okay to feel what you feel when you feel it. Okay? You're allowed. You're allowed to feel what you want to. All right. The Hangman. He almost came out in reverse, but not quite. It's kind of sideways. He's kind of laying on a job. All right. I can see this situation another way. Adjacent possibilities. Okay? The Hangman. Of course. So, it is asking us to see the world's pain. It's asking us to see our own pain. Okay? And kind of not lean into it, but I always say this word in French, épanouir. It feels like just a kind of flowing into the emotion. Let it come in. Let it change you. Let it go out. Don't fight so hard what you are meant to experience here on the planet. Okay? So this is going to be like our homework. So it's important to strive for happiness and to go for things that we want. But it's important to understand that when we don't feel like we're supposed to, or we don't feel that good about things, there's something important coming in for us to look at. It's not to ignore, medicate, you know, all those wonderful words that I spoke in this beautiful reading today. So it's not for you to ignore. It's really not for you to ignore. Ace of Cups. underneath. I welcome new love and trust what it brings. You welcome new love. You welcome emotions. You welcome vulnerability, sensitivity. Okay? It's going to make us maybe more human, which is what we really need, because we've been conditioned to be less human. And why would we be less human? We are human. Okay. Okay, so I feel that this is a lot about acceptance, Pisces. It's talking about acceptance. Let it in, let it flow in, let it be part of you, let it be you, okay? Because we are human beings. We are spirits having a human experience, but we are very much those two entities right now, okay? So don't deny yourself the richness and the fullness that all of your journey has to offer you. That includes everything. It's destined to change, and I really like that. I really like all of this, Pisces. It's really speaking to me. It's really opened me up, even to my sensitivity, my vulnerability here. And I think I'm going to hug a whole bunch of people today. What's left of the day, I'm going to just, if they need a hug, I'm going to hug today. More even, not only for them, but just to release all of this sensitive energy that I have going through me right now. I think you guys are doing wonderfully, doing wonderful. I'm hearing from Spirit that some of you may be triggered by here, because some of you are going to be reminded of such sadness that you have felt, or maybe times that you have been alone. But you have to remember, Pisces, we're working within ourselves and outside of ourselves as well to build a new place where there will be more people available to experience these contrasts, instead of ignoring them and then ignoring other people, you know. So I have been ignored in pain. I'm sure some of you have been ignored too. We're doing all of this so that that stops, that we can be who we are meant to be, and that it's okay to be such. Okay? Alright. I'm going to let you go with that. I'm sending you lots of love, light, and blessings, and an extra big hug. Okay? just for cuz. As my younger son used to say, just for cuz, instead of because. Because I want to. Okay? Take care of yourself. Light, love, hugs, everything. And I will see you tomorrow. Take care, Pisces.